And now a word from our sponsor. Well, technically he's not a sponsor in the commercial sense of the word. He's more like the faculty advisor. So anyway, here he is.
My name is Justin Rawlins, and I'm an assistant professor of communication and film studies here at TU, and I'm also the faculty advisor for TUTV. We are a student-run media production group. My job as faculty advisor is basically one of just helping out where I can, providing guidance, advice where it's needed, helping folks to work on the scripts, standing in for a camera person if they can't make it, things like that. So got to be a bit of a jack of all trades, but really it's the students who run the show. Historically, TUTV has been run much like a typical TV newscast. So we shoot live to tape, which means that we are shooting live and then we will maybe trim up a few things, but otherwise leave it intact. In kind of a gesture toward where we want to be down the line is we're moving more toward a kind of package-based, segment-based, mini-doc-based episode. So students will be out shooting a lot more stuff away from the studio. We'll be blending that with in-studio material, much like we used to do. And ultimately the idea is to produce something that is more amenable to internet-based productions, things of that sort. Well, like many people, I have had a lot of odd jobs in my life. I was a discount shoe salesman for a while. It was my very first job in this very small town where I grew up in Indiana. And it was a very interesting experience, primarily because I didn't know just how crummy it was, because it was a job, so I was really excited about it. Only later did I realize, after having other jobs, that, well, that job was pretty terrible. You know, I buffed floors at grocery stores at night, which was an awesome experience for meeting very interesting, cool, weird people. So those are some of the more colorful jobs that I've had. Before I came to TU, I taught at a university in Indiana called DePaul, not to be confused with DePaul. The larger school in Chicago, but DePaul is roughly the size of TU. And before that, I taught at Indiana University, where I did my graduate studies. So I've been in teaching-related jobs now for over a decade. Yeah, it makes me feel old. So this position that I took is one that asks you to be, you know, many things, right? So I'm technically a faculty member in 2 different departments, and I'm overseeing TUTV. I applied to this job because I thought it was a fascinating opportunity to be involved in production, to be involved with students. I love teaching, and teaching involves its own particular kinds of interactions with students, but it's also different than from being able to work with students to produce things. And it's a kind of different level of interactivity, which I really enjoy. So that was a big draw for me to apply for this position. And so the position, getting this job, brought me to Tulsa, which has been a really wonderful experience. A bit hotter than I anticipated. I didn't realize that Tulsa was so warm, but I can't complain. In the wintertime, having a 70-degree January day is pretty awesome. We have a number of places where we can be found. We are on Vimeo, we are on Facebook, we're on YouTube. We've also just launched our very own website for the first time, which we're really excited about. It's called Tulsa.show. So we have lots of old episodes, we have clips, we have cast bios, and it's a pretty exciting place. And we've got some really smart, talented people who are working on creating original content for it. And I think that a lot of the kind of material that we're producing now would be much more amenable to a website. My long-term vision for TUTV would be an entity that is creative, that is not afraid to take chances, that is reflective of the diversity of TU overall, that is engaged with the Tulsa community, that is interested in the world around it.